This is a Dirt Trax exclusive.
It's been a solid 10 years since I've traveled to Brimstone Recreation in Huntsville, Tennessee. We had been going on a regular basis for 10 years before that. I have spent quite a bit of time at Brimstone doing a lot of different things. Standard trail riding and exploring their trails, to racing their King of the Mountain event, with crazy cross-country endurance race and side-by-side. And then we also have attended a number of their white knuckle events and Paragon events. But as I usually do when I go on these trips, I don't like to go alone. I called on my buddy Tanner. He's been on countless trips with me now.
A few more hours? Yeah, only a few more hours and we're in Huntsville. I was not even asleep. Good beds though.
It's been a couple years since Luke and I have been on a trip, and he brought up the idea of coming to Tennessee and riding at Brimstone. And I've never been to Tennessee, and I was really excited to come down and check out what Brimstone has to offer.
We met up with Erica.
The relationship between Brimstone and Dirt Trax Media is going on 17 years. I think that it began on a shared passion for the outdoors and the off-roading community.
I've known Erica since she was pretty much a teenager, really, when we started going there in the beginning. And she's great. So she got us signed in. They're using laptops now. Their main office is super trick. They have amazing merchandise, and the sign-in process is super easy. One major development that's gone on at Brimstone's, they've actually developed their own app, and it includes a lot of really interesting features. The main part of the app is their map, but it's also interactive, and it can show you where you are on the map while you're riding. Of course, their trails are really well signed and really well marked, so those things combined make navigating Brimstone trails really easy. So the other thing you can do when you're signing in right at the head office is, if you're booking accommodation through Brimstone, because Brimstone itself has its own accommodation, you can get your keys and everything right there for your cabin, depending on which one you're staying in. So we were actually staying in, it's called Hoot 1 and Hoot 2. We got our keys right at the main office. It was a short drive down to the cabin, and let me tell you, man, these cabins are so nice. I stayed in one years ago on one of the trips I did, and it was every bit as nice now as it was then. Everything you could possibly need is in there. Everything's exactly what you want it to be, and it's so easy to just book your trip, buy your permit, do everything right through Brimstone. Erica promised that there would be a surprise for us on our first ride day. Gathered at the spot we were going to start riding from, and everybody started showing up. Brimstone had supplied us with some side-by-sides for this trip, so we actually didn't even have to tow a trailer, which was nice. But as we're standing around talking, people are arriving. Erica shows up, Greg shows up. Hubert Rowland from Nitro Circus, everybody's favorite redneck, he rolls in his side-by-side, custom-built side-by-side, and walks over like it's just normal day, whatever. And I'm like, are you kidding? What are you doing here?
If anybody knows off-road racing or anything off-road related, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He is Travis Pastrana's main man. A little bit starstruck, but man, what a solid dude.
All right, y'all, I'm Hubert Rowland, everyone's favorite redneck from Nitro Circus. So as you know, we're here at Brimstone. Brimstone's one of the premier parks here in East Tennessee, and it's basically up in the Cumberland Plateau, kind of the smaller mountainous areas of the Appalachian Mountains. When I got into side-by-sides, I had friends that already came up here and started exploring the trails, just like we used to do on ATVs and dirt bikes and whatever else. Brimstone and Nitro Circus kind of did a few things together at some of their bigger events. I rolled in with Travis and them to build a big jump, a stunt, a track, and that's how I initially met the ownership of Brimstone. And they were instantly very welcoming people, fellow Tennessee people. I mean, I'm the only 10 that I see, just like them. So between the rentals, trail permits, taking care of the trails, the mechanical side of it, and marking the trails, it's all family run.
Well, Brimstone's more than just a trail system. It's built on tradition, community, and we have 20,000 acres and over 300 miles of trails. Well, we have a range anywhere from easy to moderate and difficult, so you can bring up your family and go on some easier trails. Then you can also bring some of your guy friends and hit some of the harder trails, some of the whys, as why to go on there. So they're a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Brimstone is really unique in this area because you can experience so many different terrains here. You've got hills, mountains to climb, you've got rock, you've got sand, you've got mud. And so you have about all the elements here It's a great testing ground here for the OEMs. They love to come up here and test product because of that. You have such an experience here that you don't get, that's just multifaceted with your different terrains.
One thing Brimstone is known for is their overlooks. And I know sometimes when you're riding trails and people say, hey, there's a really beautiful overlook, it's like, whatever, who cares? But when you're in places like Tennessee, it's not a who cares thing. These overlooks are spectacular and they're beautiful and they're 100% worth making it the destination for your ride. Well, Brimstone has tons of them, not just one, but multiples. Pull up at the second lookout and it was incredible. The view was just amazing. It was a big open space too, so there was lots of viewing angles. We parked all of our side-by-sides right there, and that's where we decided to have our lunch. The day was beautiful, it was sunny, it wasn't overly hot that day, and just had some lunch and checked out the views. It was a nice time to get caught up with some people. But by the time we got to the lookout and had lunch, it was a little bit later in the afternoon and we needed to really just ride back down to the cabin for the evening. The thing about riding in Brimstone, though, is that afternoon driving back down to the cabin, it was, again, there was a lot of miles to put on, but it was a lot of fun. When you get to your destination and you're there and you see the thing you came to see, it's like, oh, we got to ride all the way back. But that's not the way it was at all. It was a really fun and engaging ride all the way back down to the cabin. We traveled some steep sections again, this time going down, which was exciting. There's lots of rocks, there's lots of roots, stuff like that. It really keeps you engaged in the riding experience. It's not just kick back, one-hand driving, don't have to think about it. You are riding your ATV or side-by-side on ATV side-by-side trails. And I think a lot of people are looking for that experience, and you get it here at Brimstone. So for our day 2 ride, we had kind of an interesting destination. It was Hubert who was going to lead us. Hubert actually comes to Brimstone a lot. It's one of his favorite places to ride, and he comes here all the time. He comes for all their big events. So he was a really good guide on day 2, but he had a place he wanted to take us that actually meant something to him and was really special, and we didn't really know why at the time. So we loaded up. Tanner and I switched side-by-sides. I was in a Maverick Sport the first day. He was in an XRC RR. So we swapped and we set out on the trail. Again, you know, we had the rest of the crew with us, which was really great. The trails on day 2 were just a little bit more technical, I would say. We had some really gnarly hill climbs. Tanner and I had no trouble. Tanner's a phenomenal side-by-side rider. He's owned countless side-by-sides. He knows what he's doing. I trust him, and I will ride passenger with him and not freak out like I will with most people. And I know my own capabilities, but man, did Erica ever do good. That girl could wheel.
And Luke and I were both driving XRC Can-Am side-by-sides, big grippy tires and diff lock and the whole deal. Erica, she was driving this 6-passenger Defender Max and at bone stock. She was able to wheel it through some of the stuff that even I was like, oh, this is maybe a bit challenging in an XRC, and she was staying right with us.
Yesterday, I think we tackled a lot of different overlooks, some of the trails that were a little easier. And then today we got into a little more mud, a lot of hill climbing, a lot of ruts, and a lot more what I call enjoyable riding. It's not fast riding, it's technical riding, and it's something I enjoy doing.
We got into some steep rock sections. We traveled some smoother stuff, some wide open stuff, but overall it was just a really exciting ride. Now, before we got to the final destination, we stopped at just a cool area, which was an old abandoned mine, kind of a quarry looking area we pulled up to.
It had water coming right out of the hill, filling into the pond, and it was a really, really cool spot to stop, and we had a bit of a snack and everything, and it was really neat. You could see all the coal veins right through the side of the hill, and it looked like they could have kept mining there for years and years, but it looks like they just stopped one day.
They got all them people and kids out there with them diesel trucks talking about rolling coal. This is how you really do it. Rolling coal out here in the mountains.
After that spot, though, we were headed for this overlook. And again, we still didn't know why we were headed to that particular spot or what it was all about. But when we got there, it really was a spectacular overlook. It was basically right on the edge of a cliff face. You're in the trees in one area where you're kind of just peering through the trees off the edge of a cliff out into as far as the eye could see.
The great thing about Brimstone is, you know, it's very family friendly, family oriented. They have all the amenities, but also, like, I love Brimstone so much that I actually brought my now wife up here and I proposed to her right here. Erica and Greg, you know, some of the owning family, they met us up there, met her for the first time, and, you know, everyone was just super happy. And we have a camera guy with a drone in the air and taking still shots. And I'm kind of just doing the panning around. And she's like, okay, you know, we've been here for 10 minutes, you know, are we just gonna stand here? And I was like, well, I need you to turn and stand this way. She's like, why? I was like, because that drone needs to see us. And then I kneeled down and, like, that's what we're waiting for.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Here,
Oh,
turn this way.
no way.
This way. I barely got the words out of my mouth. I was crying because I was so happy. And she started crying. I mean, it was like a small waterfall up here. But it worked out, and she actually said yes. I'm just hoping she never goes to the eye doctor. But it all worked out. So that's my love for Brimstone so much that I brought my now wife up here and asked her to marry me.
Once you get up there, you can see for miles and miles and miles, and I can see why he brought his wife up there. We had a lot of fun on that trail ride up. One of the guys we had with us got a bit of a flat tire, but if that's the worst thing that can happen, that's not a big deal at all. Overall, this trip at Brimstone has been one for the record books. Some of the best riding I've ever done with some of the best people I've ever met. This area in general is just fantastic to come out and enjoy. In short, if you ever want to get out into nature and come and enjoy a side-by-side trip, whether it be for a week or a weekend or just a couple of days, stopping in at Brimstone, getting a cabin for a couple nights, renting a side-by-side or bringing your own, bringing your travel trailer, toy hauler, whatever, and camping here, you can have a ton of fun, and it's really economical. I'd love to bring my wife down here and show her everything that Brimstone has to offer, because a day's drive away, it's not out of reach at all.
The easiest way to do it is to just arrive and ride. So you can literally get a hold of Brimstone. You can book your pass, your cabin right through them. If you want to bring your RV, they have their own campground. Do it right through Brimstone. They even rent units at Brimstone, so you don't even have to tow a trailer with side-by-sides on it. You can just go there and rent.
All you need to do is give us a call at 1-800-BRIMSTONE and we can set up your entire trip, whether it be a luxury cabin rental or a stay at our campground. We also have side-by-side rentals, all at one location.
Really high-end, late model side-by-sides that are in great shape. Everything's provided for you. It's the easiest way to go about doing this. It's super fun, and Brimstone is a place that I will very much look forward to going back to, and I know everybody else who is riding with us is going to feel the same.
Make sure to subscribe and comment below for real interaction with the Dirt Trax crew.